Hello guys, welcome back to Coding Cafe. My name is Mohammed Ali, and in the previous tutorial, as you know, that we have created a Firebase project and we have connected our this Instagram clone app to the Firebase. Now in this tutorial, finally we are going to allow the user to register, or you can say sign up, using the Firebase authentication and Firebase real-time database. That is, we will also store the user information like the UID, username, full name, email, and password. Email only in the Firebase real-time database, and as you know, the password is hidden. I mean, we will authenticate the user using the Firebase authentication. So yeah, that's it. Now before we proceed and write code, go to your favorite browser, and go to your Firebase project. Go to the console.firebase.com. Okay, also you can Google Firebase and just click here on this Firebase console, and it will send you to this, okay, console.firebase.google.com. The email which is connected to your Firebase, basically the Firebase which is connected to your email, whatever. So this is the project which we created, in the previous video tutorial. If you have not watched that video tutorial, then go and watch that, so that you can learn how to create a Firebase project and connect it to your Android application. So yeah, just click on it, and now here, let me minimize the browser size so that we can see everything little bit easily. Okay, so now come here to this authentication first, and also click on this real-time database. You will also need this. So yeah, this is our Firebase authentication. Here you will have this sign-in method. Just click on it and make sure to enable the email and password. Okay, and yeah, click save, enable and save. And then the next thing is to go to the click on database and come here, just scroll a little bit down below. Here we have real-time database. Just click on this create database, and here you have to choose start in test mode. Now later on, at the end of this project, I will tell you guys, we will change these rules so that only, now just ignore this. I do not want you guys to confuse yourself with this, okay? But I will tell you some rules of the Firebase at the end of this project. When we will be finishing off this project, inshallah, very soon. Okay, so just for now, just click on the start in test mode, so that the read and write operation will be allowed to the end users. Okay, so that the user can register and upload data, or you can say retrieve data from the Firebase real-time database. Okay, so start in test mode and then click enable, and it is going to create now a real-time database for us. Here you can see it. Okay, and now we are ready basically. So now the next thing is to go back to your Android Studio, and here we have our sign up activity, and go to the signup.xml file. Now here we have this button, okay, on which the user will click, basically register button I'm talking about. When a user will click on this button, then we will get all these information, and first we will authenticate using the Firebase authentication. The user we will authenticate using Firebase authentication, and then we will store also the data in the Firebase real-time database. So anyways, just copy this ID, which is signup_btn. Just copy this, come here to the sign up button. It is so easy in Kotlin to access the buttons and text views using their IDs quickly. There is no need to initialize or cast it. Okay, so inside here, after this sign in button, we can say just paste that ID, and we can say dot set on click listener new. Oh, sorry, this is Kotlin, not Java. Okay, so here we have to write our code. So in here, when a user click on the register, or you can say this sign up button, basically this button, then what we're going to do, we are going to call a method, a function which we will now create. Okay, so we can give it name as create account, and there is no need to use semicolon also in Kotlin. So yeah, let's create our this function, create account, okay, by this name. and here you can see it is created successfully. Now inside this method, what we're gonna do is remove this comment. We are going to get the full name and all these things and save it inside a variable. Okay, so first we can say, well, full name equals to, and we can access that field by their ID. So the ID for accessing the username is, full name is this one. Copy it, just paste it here, and then we can say dot text dot to string, and then just copy paste this thing. Okay, copy paste, and so the next field we have is basically the username. Now that username, basically we will make it unique, but for now let's just go with it. Okay, and then we have the email, and then password. Sorry, now make sure to change their IDs. For the username we have username sign up, so copy it and replace it with this one. Then we have the email underscore sign up ID for email, paste it here, and then the last one is password sign up. So yeah, that's it. So here we need to validate, or you can say verify, that all the fields are not empty. The user must write the full name, username, email and password. Only then the user we will authenticate the user. So for that, basically here we can say when, and now I will tell you what this when means. Basically, like in Java, when we were creating applications, Android applications, there we use if else statement, like if and then statement inside the curly braces, and then we say else if, else if, else if. So what here is basically an advantage. Inside this when statement we put all the if statement. Let me write it, I will explain it, and also you will understand it more easily when I just write down and explain a little. So here we can say text utils dot is empty. So first of all we have to check if the full name is empty. Then what we are going to do, basically we are going to display our toast message to the user. We are going to notify the user that is this field must be filled. The user has to write the full name. Okay, toast dot make text this comma, then we have to pass the message, so we can say full name is required, and then after this we can say comma toast dot length long. So yeah, that's it. Now let's just copy paste this for the remaining ones. Copy it and paste it here 3 more times, and then we have the next one, which is our username. So we can say username, then we have email, so email, and then we have password. Okay, if any of these is empty, then we are going to tell the user that is username is required, then you can say email is required, and then we have the password, so we can say password is required. Okay, so this field must be filled by the end user, and if all these fields are filled, if there is no problem, then after that we are going to add the data in, to authenticate the user using the Firebase authentication and using the Firebase real-time database. So we can say else, and then put 2 curly braces, and inside this else statement, now first of all we have to authenticate the user using the Firebase authentication. So we will be needing the Firebase auth. So let's declare mauth for that. Member variable mauth, which is belongs to Firebase auth. This must be equals to Firebase auth dot get instance. Now after this we can say an auth dot create user with email and password, and the first parameter it needs is the email which a user will type, and then the password. And then we can say dot add on complete listener new on complete, sorry, not this one, I mean I just forget, it is not Java. Okay, so add on complete listener. Okay, now instead of that just put these two curly braces, and in here we can say task and this one, okay, this first one. And then inside here, let's move this to next line. In here we can say if task dot is successful, it means that the user is authenticated successfully using the Firebase authentication. So here now we have to proceed and store the user information like full name and username inside the Firebase real-time database. And in case if any error occur, then we can say else, and you can display a toast message, and we have to get that exception, or you can say that error message. So you can call it, I mean, well message equals to task dot exception dot to string. Now just for the time saving, I am going to copy paste this toast message. Okay, sorry, this one from here, copy it and paste it here. And now here we can say instead of, you can say error, and then we have to display that message here, message. Okay, or in Kotlin you can also concatenate, I mean like that. Okay, inside this double quotation error, and you can just type $, and then paste that variable which is our message. Okay, this one, just like this. And now this is okay, but we have to display a progress dialog in case, I mean, if the, I mean, just to tell the progress of the, I mean, what is going on. Okay, so let's create a progress dialog here also. So inside our this else statement, here we can just say well progress dialog. Sorry, I mean we have to create first member variable. Okay, and I just forgot. Progress dialog equals to progress dialog this at the red sign up activity. Now we have to set a title first for this progress dialog. So you can say progress dialog dot set title, and the title will be sign up. And then we have to set message. So you can say progress dialog dot set message, and the message will be like you can give any message, like I can just say, I mean tell user that is please wait, this may take a while, let's say. Okay, this may take a while, or you can say that is we are checking the credentials, whatever. I mean just a message to tell the user that is please wait, it will take some time. Anyways, we can say progress dialog. So I mean for user click on the page, so this must not disappear. So you can say dot set cancel on touch outside false, and then we have to show it. So we can say progress dialog dot show. So in case of error we have to dismiss that, so we can just say here progress dialog dot dismiss. And now here when a user is authenticated using the Firebase authentication, then we are basically going to save that user data, that is full name, username, all these stuffs inside the real-time database. So how we can do that? So inside, I mean, if the task is successful, we are going to create a method now by the name save user info. So we are calling that method here, which we will also create. Okay, now I mean, so it will here we have to pass the username, okay, which is our this information, full name, username and email. Okay, so full name comma username, and then we are going to send the email here also. Now let's create our this method. Okay, so create function save user info. Here you can see it is created successfully. Now yeah, what we gonna do here next is, now one thing I mean which we need to do is, that is, if any error occur, I mean if the user is not authenticated, then here we have to say that is mauth dot sign out. Okay, and then here we can save the information. So we will be, I mean we have to save also the user ID, the current user ID. So for that, let's create a variable and we can give it name as current user ID equals to Firebase auth dot get instance dot current user dot UID. Also, let's create a reference, okay, to the Firebase database. I mean we are going to create a node, and inside that node we will save all the information for every user. So you can say users ref current database reference equals to Firebase database dot get instance dot reference dot child. The child will be our users node. So now we are going to create a map, okay, hash map basically. So we can give it a name as user map, where user map equals to hash map, so string comma object, or instead of that in Kotlin we say any. I mean it can be integer or anything. So here we can say user map and then these two braces, and in here we have to pass the key to it. So first of all we are going to save the UID, I mean, and it is stored inside the current user ID. Then let us just copy paste this quickly, 1 2 and 3, and then we have the full name, and then the username, and then the last one is the email. Now also let's save a default bio to the database, that is, which will appear as a default on user profile whenever you create a new account. So it will be like hey, I am using coding cafe Instagram clone app. That's it. I mean you can type any message you want. Okay, so Instagram app. So this is the bio, and also I mean I'm going to save a default image. I mean let's say there will be users who will not upload any profile picture. Like you guys see, some people do not put their pictures on, I mean, social media platforms. So for that we have to display a default message, okay, default image. If I show you inside the drawable, let's go to the drawable. I'm going to show you something which is our drawable. This picture we will use as a default. Okay, so I'm going to copy this, okay, and just paste it. I mean, we have to retrieve it as a default, okay, on the desktop. Now just go to the here and let's go to the storage, okay. Let's also create the Firebase storage bucket. So get started, next, done. So it is created successfully. So here I'm going to create a separate folder for all the default pictures. I mean default picture if which we will be using in this application, okay. So I can give it name as default images for this project, okay. Default images. Now it does not mean that the user will, I mean the user will update their own pictures also once we go to the setup or settings activity. But this will be as a default image whenever a user create a new account. So come here inside, click on that folder and it will come here. Now just click on this upload file, okay. And now you can select that picture from the desktop, which is our default picture, okay. Just click open and it will now download here, upload here, sorry, upload here, and just click on it on this picture and you will see it here. Now come down here and here we have this file location. Now from here you can just copy this download URL, just click on it, okay, and it is copied. Now just come back and here go to the Ender Studio, and now what we're gonna do is here we can say user map, and we have an image which we will use as a default image, okay. And then inside this double quotation paste that link here, okay, which is basically the link to our that default image from the Firebase storage, okay. So yeah, so we are done now. Now we have to update our children, I mean we have to paste this data inside the database. So we can say user ref dot child, and for every user there will be unique ID by which we can identify that user. So we have to pass the current user ID here. Then we can say dot set value user map, pass the user map to it. Now we have to notify the user in case if it is successfully added to the database or not. So you can say add on complete listener. Now here if you write add, then you can see this second one, okay, with this semicolon, I mean this one. Just click on it and it will automatically like this, I mean automatically it will select this. So task, and then let's move this to the next line, and in here we can say if task dot is successful, then we are going to dismiss the progress dialog first, but we have not initialized that progress dialog globally, so we are going to pass this progress dialog, or we can also initialize it above. So let me check one thing. Let's just initialize this globally, okay. Copy it, come here and paste that here while progress dialog. Or instead of that we can do one more thing, we can also pass this progress dialog as a parameter, okay, to, I mean when we authenticate the user, okay. Then let's copy paste this as a fourth parameter to here so that we can dismiss the progress dialog there. Also add this here, comma, progress dialog, and it is belongs to the, I mean the type of it is progress dialog. So yeah, I mean that's it. Now here in the task is successful, we can say progress dialog dot dismiss. Now we have to display a toast message, so just for the time saving I'm going to copy this toast message, okay, and paste it here, and we can say that is account has been created successfully. Now after this we have to send the user, I mean we can allow the user to go to the main application. So for that we can say intent this, which is basically our sign up activity, comma, we are going to send the user to the main activity class.java. We have to add flags, which means that if a user click on back button, then we are not going to allow the user that is to go to the sign in or sign up page until unless he click on the logout button, which we will implement also alongside with the sign in, in the next video tutorial. Intent.add flag, intent.flag activity clear task, and then this pipe sign, or in Kotlin we cannot write this pipe sign, you can just type or, okay. And then we can say intent dot flag activity new task, new task, start activity for the intent. So yeah, and that's it. Now in case if any error occur, then we can display the tell the user that is what error basically occur, so that he can know. Okay, so inside this else, now for the time saving I'm going to copy paste this message, okay, well message toast, and also this whole code basically, and we can paste it here, so it will get the error message. And here we have not initialized this emote, so you can just write like this: Firebase auth dot get instance dot sign out and progress dialog dot dismiss. Remember something which is need to mention here, okay, in the previous tutorial basically we forgot to add, just come here to the build.get module app. Here we forgot to add the apply the Google services plugin. So here you just type now this manually, okay, which is you can just type apply plugin colon, okay, make sure to mention this, okay, apply plugin colon, and then inside the single quotation you can just type com.google.gms.google-services, okay, make sure to add this, then click on sync now. I forgot to mention this in the previous tutorial when we were connecting our app to the Firebase, so make sure to add this. Now once you add this successfully, then you can just test the application, okay, proceed without instant run. So the app is running now successfully, and now let's go to the sign up, and now let's just quickly type the full name, Muhammad Ali, then username, then the email, password, and then we can register. Click on register, and it says sign up, please wait, this may take a while. So let's wait for it, and then we will go and check also in the, here we can see it. So we are logged in successfully to the main application. Now if we go to the here you can see, first of all let me show you the authentication. Refresh this, and here you can see this is the using the we have authenticated this user using the Firebase authentication. This is the email, and this is the UID, unique user ID. And if we go to the real-time database, then user node is created, and we have the first user SCH1, okay, you can see it SCH1. And then if we expand this bio, which is the default, okay, email, full name, image, UID, and username. So yeah, it is working really nice. Now one thing which we just need to do in this tutorial is, if I just close this application, okay, let me close it, and I open this again. So as you know, the user has already logged in when he created the new account, okay. If I open the application again, then it basically sends us to the to the login page. So on the login page we have to check that is, we have to check now, that is, if the user is already logged in, then there is no need, we must send the user to the main activity. So for that just come here and to the sign in activity, And also I will mention one more thing, but first of all let me tell you here what we are going to do whenever the application starts. So on the sign in activity we have to check one thing, which is if firebase auth.get instance dot current user, if this is not equals to null, which means if the user is already logged in, then in that case we are going to send the user to the main activity. So from the sign up activity, for the time saving, let's just copy paste this code, control C, and come back to the sign in activity and paste it here. Now here we need to change this to sign in activity, and also we have, yeah, everything is okay now. Okay, so now let's just come to the sign up activity. I mean, with our toast messages we have to display that. Okay, so I forgot to write this, that is dot show. Okay, so write this with every toast message that we used. Okay, here, so we can say dot show. I forgot to write this earlier. Okay, so sorry for that. Also here we have to say dot show, and then we have here with all of these dot show. Let's just copy paste it quickly, and yeah, now we can run the application. Proceed without instant run. Now when the application runs, it will automatically send to the main activity. Let me close this. Okay, and let's wait for the Gradle build running. So the application is running now successfully, and it automatically sends us to the main activity since you know that the user is already logged in. So yeah, that's it for this video, and in this video we have successfully allowed the user to create a new account using the Firebase authentication and also the Firebase real-time database. Now in the next video tutorial, what we will be doing is that we will allow a user to sign out, okay, from the app if a user click on logout or sign out button, and also we will allow a user to sign in. Okay, so yeah, that's it for this video. I mean, we will allow a user to sign in using the Firebase authentication. Okay, so that's it for this video, and if anyone is new to our channel, then please subscribe our channel Coding Cafe. Don't forget to follow me on my Twitter and Instagram account. Take care of yourselves, and bye for now.